Hello and welcome to this very special Sports Live on NDTV. We have with us Prerna, we have with us Shayan, and we are here to talk about the demolition that is happening at this point of time. Indian Pacers are on fire. मोहम्मद सिराज ने 3 विकेट्स
Siraj,
3 विकेट्स लिए हैं. बुमराह ने 1 विकेट लिया है और
Shami
शामी
has
आते
taken
के
a
साथ
just right now.
and शामी आते के साथ started doing what he does best. कितना टाइम लग रहा है कि कितने जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा प्रेरणा?
Around 20 minutes.
Around 20 minutes. अच्छा अच्छा.
I think 20 minutes. That's also expecting a lot right now.
Going by what is happening.
Yeah.
What do
And
you, how do you assess an innings like this in that case? Because you go on and score 350 odd runs, and then the opposition comes and they're 14 for 6 at this point of time. How do you even talk about that innings? मतलब
I
क्या-
think it's just unfortunate that the bowlers are not getting enough practice. I think at this point you would really like the bowlers to get more practice.
I mean, Indian pace attack has been phenomenal, especially in this World Cup. बहुत सारे ऐसे questions थे कि क्या हमारी bowling combination सही है, नहीं है, etc. etc. शामी ने 2 matches, 3 matches नहीं खेले. Then he comes in, then he starts picking up wickets at will. You have the likes of Siraj, who was not really doing
Yes,
well
not that great.
in the last couple of matches. He comes back. वो अपने एशिया कप के फाइनल वाले अवतार में आके he picks up those 3 wickets. Just give us an idea on how Siraj's contribution is crucial for India at this point in time, because when you look at the Indian bowling unit, all the bowlers except for Siraj have been contributing, have been doing well. Siraj coming to the party, how crucial is that for India now?
I think we have to begin with how the change in team composition has actually helped him, because with an attack where there you have Pandya and Shardul, a lot of pressure was there on Bumrah and Siraj, because we were looking at 2 prime bowlers. They have to provide you the breakthrough.
Yeah.
But with Shami right now, I think we have that extra support in our bowling lineup.
Yeah.
I think with this team, finally, we have a balanced bowling attack where we have 3 quality seamers, and we can actually look at it that even if Siraj does not perform in the early stages of a game, we have a bowler who can just come and take wickets at will right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think if when Hardik comes back, I think it'll be very interesting to see how that quartet will work, because that is probably the perfect situation for India going into the knockout stages.
What do you think, Prerna? क्या
For me, अगर मैं बताऊं पूरे होल सिनेरियो को अगर मैं देखूं यहाँ, तो अगर सिराज का बैक देखूंगी पिछले कैसे भी पिछले वाले मैच में उन्होंने किस तरीके से परफॉर्म किया और आज के मैच में कैसे परफॉर्म किया, तो बहुत ज्यादा उसमें डिफरेंस मुझे दिख रहा है. पिछले वाले मैच में एक मिसफील्ड भी थी उनसे, उसके बाद आज के मैच में जो इतने अच्छे से उनका परफॉर्मेंस आया है, तो अगर मैं टीम इंडिया को देखूं तो बहुत सारे 2.0 वर्जन मुझे दिख रहे हैं वर्ल्ड कप मैच में. या
It also has to do with the confidence that you
Yes.
that as a player when you're playing against a certain team जिसके against आपने पहले जो है वो बहुत ही अच्छी performances दी हैं, तो
Right.
I think वो भी एक factor हो सकता है, right?
हाँ, मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि
Because Asia Cup के final में we all know what
Yes.
happened in that
Yeah.
Asia Cup final and what Siraj went on to do in that final. And
Is this somehow worse than the final? Like we thought Asia
Yeah,
Cup final
exactly.
is probably the worst we
Yeah,
have seen.
exactly.
Is this somehow worse?
probably अगर
Probably,
if they so what is the record for the lowest innings total? It's 30 odd runs,
I think
35
30
runs.
I think 34,
35.
35, I think,
Yeah.
for Canada, I guess.
No. Against Sri Lanka. but-
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Right, Zimbabwe.
So it is against Sri Lanka. It might be for Sri Lanka this time around. And if they go on to score less than 35, then I don't know how to assess this situation, because when you look at Sri Lanka as a team, of course there are injuries. There are a certain bowlers who are missing from this team, but you don't really expect them to play in the manner that they have played,
I think
especially
in a World Cup, you don't expect any team to be.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
think however good you are, you would not.
I mean, you wouldn't have thought about England playing like how
but
they're
then
playing,
again,
yeah.
you will not want or expect a team like Sri Lanka to just get dismantled like this. Just a very poor show on a stage like this, I guess. And that's
Yeah.
the big question for Sri Lanka cricket, like how
Yeah.
they rebuild from this, because it's not just once. One of you still can
Correct.
think about
Yeah.
what has
Yeah.
gone wrong in that one match, but if
Yeah.
it has happened twice now in in big situations. I think a big question comes like, what is going wrong for the team?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at Sri Lanka and when you look at Sri Lanka cricket, they've always been on the periphery when it comes to bigger tournaments, especially when you talk about ICC events, ICC tournaments. They're always there. They're always there, and that the only thing that they're not able to do is cross that line and probably win one of those tournaments. What do you feel is stopping them from doing that? Because they have the talent, they have the players to do that and achieve that. What do you think is stopping them from doing that? Because when I look at teams like Afghanistan, when I'm looking at teams like even for that matter, when I look at teams like Netherlands in this World Cup, you see a set structure, you see a team out there,
fighting spirit.
but you don't really see a team when you're looking at Sri Lanka in this
I
World Cup.
think the biggest thing missing here is consistency.
Hmm.
I think even with any good unit will need to perform consistently. You can't just come up short in 2 games and then perform well in 2 games. I think that does not work. I think Afghanistan is a very good example of how you need to do it over again. That is when you can come up with big scores, because any team can come into a tournament, beat 2 lower ranked teams, but that is never going to help you achieve anything in the tournament.
And especially in a format like this.
In a format like this, you have to constantly perform and just hope that is your day, and you come up against a big team and you give that performance which is needed to beat a team like India. Again, against India, you will have to play well. I think bigger teams have tried, and given their form, Sri Lanka is just coming up short. That's it. As simple as that.
But when you talk about India, Prerna, Shan, is it too true to be? Is it too good to be true? I mean, everyone is clicking. You have the likes of Rohit. You have the likes of Shreyas Iyer in this match, coming and scoring 82 runs, giving that headache to the selectors. Ki ab kaun wapas aayega? If Hardik comes in,
I think that is a question now. Where does
who will he replace then?
Yes, because
Is it going to be is it going to be Shreyas Iyer? I don't think so. Is it going to be Surya Kumar Yadav? Who is it going to be?
think
Because
it has to be Surya Kumar Yadav. I don't think anywhere else it's a
this
travesty at
is
this point.
this is
एक्चुअली अभी टीम में ऑप्शंस इतने ज्यादा हैं कि वो समझ नहीं आ पा रहा है किससे रिप्लेस किया जाए. सबकी परफॉर्मेंसेस इतने अच्छे तरीके से आ रही है, तो मे बी हार्दिक आए तो चांसेस सूर्या का ही है. मुझे भी ऐसा लगता है.
I mean, this is a great headache to have for
I think
the
it's a great
selectors.
headache to have, I think.
For any team, if you are in a situation where you know that an ace all-rounder is going to come back to your team, but he has to replace somebody who is going to be a match winner. You never know. He's a match winner on
And also,
that
like,
given
what a
day.
journey it has been from. I think we went into the tournament thinking who will be number 4, who will be number 5. Is KL Rahul good enough? Can Shreyas Iyer perform? Where will Surya Kumar Yadav play? What will be our bowling like? And I think we are now talking about who can we drop. Everybody is playing
Exactly.
that. I think what a change. I think it also shows, as I was talking about consistency, what 5-6 wins can do to a team. The amount of confidence that India has going into the business end of the tournament, it is massive. In front of a home crowd, they already have a slight advantage. We have to accept it. And after that, if they are going in with this much confidence, this much a 15-member team where you can literally pick out the best, like 2-3 best 11s. I think nothing like it. What do you think?
मुझे भी ऐसा लगता है कि ये जो 15 प्लेयर की स्क्वाड है, मतलब ये मुझे लगता है कि फुल प्रूफ एकदम, पता ना राहुल द्रविड़ ने बहुत प्लान करके सब कुछ ऐसा किया है कि कहीं
एक महीने पहले ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं लगता था.
नहीं.
इवन एशिया कप से पहले ऐसा लग रहा था कि टीम ऐसे बिखरेगी, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. एशिया कप तो बहुत दूर की बात है, बट जिस तरीके से कमबैक आया, मैंने बताया ना बहुत सारे 2.0 वर्जन देखने के लिए मिले हैं. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि होल और मतलब कहते हैं ना कि टीम इंडिया का पूरा 2.0 वर्जन मुझे दिख रहा है अराउंड 1 महीने पहले से अगर कंपेयर करें तो.
Going into the knockouts, that is where our real test is going to be. And India has faltered in the semis, in the finals, in the last couple of years, in the last 10 years. If and when India reaches the semis, which is that one team that you would not want to play in the semi-final first? And do you think a win in the semis guarantees that we are going to win the World Cup?
I think it is New Zealand.
You want to face New Zealand?
Yeah, I want to face New Zealand, not Australia.
I really think India. I really hope India does not face Australia, because I genuinely believe in a tournament, in a format like this, once you're done with the group stages,
Yeah.
it's the story of a one match.
Yeah.
So if you falter in that one game, that is it.
Mm.
And we have to look at history and see how good Australia has been,
Yeah.
irrespective of form, irrespective of history. There have been tournaments where they have come at the back of horrible series, and then they have performed very well.
Yeah.
So I think
Especially in qualifier or semi-finals.
yes,
Yeah.
I think in this, I think semi-final will be the biggest test of India,
Yeah.
because that is when it will show how consistently they can take this forward.
Mm.
Because even if they remain unbeaten in the group stages, if one loss can undo
Correct.
this much work
Yeah.
they put into it.
And that is also the flip side of a format like this, where you're
Yes.
playing 9 matches in the group stages or
And
whatever,
also
whatever
the
that you
amount
can
of
call it.
travel that India
Yeah.
is doing.
And to get to that one match and not cross the line, I think that is going to be really demoralizing for
Yes.
a team like India, and especially with the kind of pressure that India has as a team, because the entire nation wants
Yes.
to win all the matches, all the tournaments that you participate in. That has been the story of Indian cricket all this while. So, like you rightly mentioned, I think a win in the knockout, especially in the semifinals, I think it's very, very important. Not just in the context of this tournament, but also in the context of how these people are going to, how these
Yes.
players are going to carry that momentum coming into
Well,
going
I
into
think
the
that is
other
a burden we
tournaments.
do carry.
Yeah,
Whenever we talk about big tournaments, we always talk about forms.
yeah.
We always talk about how India have not
Do you
really
also feel?
done it.
Do you also feel that this is probably the first time that India has been so consistent in an ICC tournament?
I think it's
In
just
terms of
because
result, and not just in terms of result, but in terms of dominance that they have shown in their
I
matches.
think this is for the first time I have seen so many people turn up for India.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
think if we look at 2019, it was again a very good performance from India,
Yeah.
and Rohit Sharma almost single-handedly took it.
Correct.
But I think this is the first time I'm really seeing India click as a team.
Correct.
I mean, India traditionally we talk about battles.
Yeah.
Traditionally, we have spoken about how our battles win us matches.
Yeah.
We are looking at a bowling unit which is
Unplayable. Absolutely unplayable. Yeah.
We can lose that.
the
card.
only match where we did not look good. The target was what, 230,
Yeah.
and our bowlers got a 100-run win. I mean, it's quite something when you think about it.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. And especially considering the fact that you have the likes of Ravichandran Ashwin, the number one test bowler in the world,
Yes.
not finding a place in a bowling unit like this. Ashami can only get in the team when Hardik Pandya goes out. That is something that basically tells you the kind of bench strength that India has at this point of time. And normally इस तरह की conversation, you're right, normally इस तरह की conversation हम Indian bowling को लेकर
Yeah.
नहीं करते हैं.
It's mostly about the batters.
Yeah, it is mostly about the batters. We're always concerned about कि विराट कितने runs मारेगा, रोहित शर्मा रन मारेगा या नहीं मारेगा, केएल राहुल क्या कर रहा है यहाँ पे, etc. But this time around, it's a completely different conversation. You're talking about because this is not just the general perception. It is also all the pundits, all the commentators, everyone. They agree to the fact that India's bowling unit is probably the best in the competition and probably the best in the world at this point of time. Do you agree to that statement, whether India's current bowling unit, this combination is probably the best in the world?
मैंने एक वर्ड यूज किया था लीड. एक्चुअली जो रीसेंट परफॉर्मेंसेस हैं इंडियन बॉलिंग अटैक जिस हिसाब से, मैं इस मैच के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बोलूंगी, जो टॉस का जो इनका चॉइस था, मुझे ये पहले से ये अनुमान था कि अगर श्रीलंका को चेस करना पड़ा तो इस बॉलिंग अटैक के सामने और वैसा ही हुआ है. तो मुझे भी लगता है कि जिस हिसाब से भी बॉलिंग चल रही है या बॉलिंग जो हमारी स्क्वाड है, बिल्कुल इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंसेस है, तो ऑब्वियस फॉर मी इट इज नंबर 1.
शामी ने एक और विकेट ले लिया.
I think what it also does in a World Cup, if you see, I think we are finally taking the toss factor out of question.
Absolutely.
I think when
Absolutely agree.
your batters and bowlers are performing so well,
Yeah.
you take the toss out of the equation. We are
Yeah.
no longer dependent on whether we are comfortable chasing or we are
Correct.
comfortable defending. We are comfortable in any situation.
That's true.
And when the knockouts come, it will be very important because it will no longer over the years,
But
a
do you
lot
feel,
of focus
do you
has
feel
been-
our strength is chasing? Do you agree to that, or do you feel?
I think more than our strength in Indian conditions and most of the grounds, chasing will make more sense on a team level, I
Yeah.
guess, with the due factor also coming into play. But as we are talking about it, if the bowlers are in this good form, I don't think it will matter if we are winning tosses or not.
But when you talk about the next match that India is going to play, it is against South Africa. It is on a relatively newer turf that has been laid at the Eden Gardens, and we were talking to a senior journalist who comes from Kolkata, and he was talking about how the pitch is going to behave, etc., etc. But when you look at a team like South Africa, who have been doing exceedingly well batting first, do you then it becomes it is a conundrum in a sense that they are going to bat first. I want to chase that total. What do you do in that situation? Because you know that a team like South Africa might put up
Yes.
300 odd runs on the board, and we'll have to chase that. And if our bowlers don't click, then what happens? You also then look at the fact that they haven't been comfortable chasing big totals or any total for that matter. So what would you do as a team, as a captain? It is actually a plus for India that we have batted first, scored
Yeah.
350 odd runs. Not a great bowling.
But I think we have to
unit.
also look at it at how the team management is going to approach this game, because there are two sides to it. One, we can go with the obvious choice, which chasing will be can be a good thing for us, but we can also look at it because considering we have already qualified, and
Yeah.
considering this match is done
Yeah,
safely.
yeah, where a lot of people are.
So, in case we have qualified, I think the team may just look to see how they can test out situations, because we cannot always depend on the fact that it will go our way, the conditions or the
Yeah.
toss may go our
Yeah.
way. So, if we can reach a position, and what better than this position? I think we are unbeaten in the tournament. We can actually try out. I believe against Netherlands, we may see the players who have not gotten a chance till now. I think they should get some rest too, because we can't expect them to keep playing. And we can, we do not want any injury, any
Yeah.
freak injury,
Yeah.
or any fatigue to come when the semifinals come into play.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I feel this is my personal opinion. I would go with the same team for as long as I can, because uh, I don't want this winning combination to break in any sense.
I think
Just
maybe
in case.
I think maybe against Netherlands,
Do you feel there are going to be changes for the Netherlands match?
Obviously, मुझे ये इसलिए लग रहा है क्योंकि थोड़ी सी रेस्ट की नीड वहाँ पे प्लेयर्स को जरूरी भी होती है. आप कॉन्स्टेंटली क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं तो थोड़ी सी नीड वहाँ पे जरूरत है ताकि सेमीज में या फिर आने वाले सारे मैचेस में अच्छे से परफॉर्मेंसेस वहाँ दिखा सके टीम को.
मुझे, unlike both of you, I personally feel there shouldn't be any changes to this winning 11.
I believe players like maybe Bumrah, maybe Kuldeep. You pick and choose. I think by that time Pandya will be back, so even he will get a couple of match practice before you go into the semi-final.
Well, we hope so. Sri Lanka are 22 for 7 at this point of time. They will they be able to cross that 35 run mark, or is it going to be a world record of the lowest total by any team that has that ever exists in any form of cricket? I guess in any form of cricket, or are we just talking about ODI cricket?
I think we're talking about ODI.
In ODI cricket. So that's all we have for you on this live. We'll be back with more.